Welcome, ranchers, to Mindfulness with Marcia. Prior to the COVID pandemic, having a vision for our future that differs from our current circumstance or circumstances could be quite inspiring and exciting. Whether that would be a vision of what our next job would look like, or our first job, going to school, what that school would look like, going from middle school to high school or high school to college, getting married, finding a partner for life, buying a home, saving enough money for that boat to get out on the lake and fish. Whatever that future vision was, it's really inspiring and exciting. However, I realize now, more than probably pre-COVID, that thinking too much about what would be next in my life, well, it often keeps me from fully committing to my present placement in my life's journey, and especially in my mindful living journey. I realize my thoughts about the future distracts me from participating in the current moment. I was waiting for some future time or situation in order to self-actualize. And the present moment, which unavoidably became my life, well, it was sort of passing me by, and I wasn't recognizing the things that I was grateful for and the happy moments. And then came the pandemic. So now we're all finding ourselves truly just trying to get through each day while dealing with all kinds of what ifs. And we're dealing with these what ifs for a future that we don't have any idea of what it might be. I can only imagine having planned a future event like a wedding, and now with the pandemic, what that wedding may be or will be in the next few months probably doesn't look anything like what those original plans were, because those ideas wasn't even something in our universe. And now we have all these new things to think about that have been added to our present realities before COVID. And now, I should say, our past realities, and now our present realities, well, they have even more things to be thinking about. This past Monday, Joy Ryan was sharing in our morning COVID meeting with the VPs how she had been reading about having a new mindset right now and dealing with what it is today. How do we live today rather than being stuck in just merely moving through? Moving through to what? We often don't even know. And it changes so quickly. And it was at this time that I realized that I needed a new mindset for even my mindful living journey. And perhaps you do also. Because, my friends, there's no guarantees in this life. We've probably all recognized that at this point and accepted it. And we're all reminded of this, perhaps more so right now. The present moment always offers us the ground in which we can take root. Open up our hearts now if we pay attention to it. In other words, live with it or in it now, rather than just living through into some future moment. What this means is that we live fully wherever we are, not hesitating because conditions are not perfect now, or not even predictable in so many ways. Absolutely, this can be scary because we might feel that we're not being thoughtful of what the new normal might be, not planning ahead. But this notion that we have to hold back now in order to find happiness later, well, it really doesn't make sense. Experts in the mental health field are telling us now that stress increases when we ruminate on what might be rather than living the best we can be right now. And see, this pandemic really puts us in this trick bag of, well, this is what it is right now. So I'm not really going to be happy because I really don't like the social distancing and staying at home. So instead, I'll just kind of ruminate on what it might be in the future. And maybe by next week, we'll be able to. And then next week comes around and everything has changed and all the facts are changed. And we may find ourselves in the same place or maybe in a place that we like even less. You see what happens? Not dealing with where we are right now and just getting through to some future, well, it robs us of the present moment. And that's what mindful living is all about. Finding happiness now, even during the pandemic. Even during the pandemic is vital to our mental health. We need to embrace this moment, embrace ourselves just exactly as we are right now. Now's the time for each of us, you and I, to bloom where we are planted. I've always liked that little saying as a person who loves flowers and plants. Bloom where we're planted and override this tendency to hold back because we're just getting through and maybe it'll be better down the line. So this week, pause to discover that now's the time to say yes. Say yes to be brave and commit fully to yourself because until you do that, no one else will. Now's the time to live with the pandemic and our life journey rather than just merely living through until a future moment in time. So until we're gather again to next week, please be safe and please be well.